High School Musical, the series. And I want to ask you, when you saw the trailer for the first time, what was your initial reaction?
I was just like, this is not what I was expecting. And I was pleasantly surprised, I think. Mostly pleasantly surprised because I was like, interesting. I was not expecting the mockumentary style
Yeah.
from Disney Plus, but I was
Yeah.
definitely, I was pleasantly surprised.
I mean, I thought for a second, like Disney, owns ABC and they have Modern Family, and Modern Family did something similar.
Mm,
And when Carlos in the beginning, he says like he watched High School Musical one, like I don't remember how many times, 30 something times, and
sure.
15 minutes of the sequels. He makes that joke. He only watched the first 15 minutes of each sequel.
Mm.
And I didn't know if there was a subtle jab in there because I actually checked where does 15 minutes land in the sequel, and they're both Sharpay scenes. They're both Sharpay scenes. Yeah.
Interesting. Good
But
detail.
yeah, but one thing that was funny is you mentioned earlier Sharpay got a spin-off movie, Ashley Tisdale, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. I have never seen that movie, but I tried for this. And funny thing enough, I turned it off because I didn't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
And I looked at the time, it was just after 15 minutes.
Dude, that's hilarious. But good on you for even trying. Like I wouldn't even look for those,
It,
man.
it, it, it was, I mean, it's on Disney Plus, so I tried. So yeah, so the trailer, I thought it was hilarious, and I thought it was better than actually giving one of the characters a spin-off. I love what they did. Of course,
Me
High
too.
School Musical, the series is the trilogy was notoriously shot at a school in Salt Lake City. So this takes fictional characters who attend that school in Salt Lake City, and they're gonna stage a High School Musical for their school, and it's so good. It exceeded. I don't know if you thought it was gonna be this good. I had no idea it was gonna be this good.
Same, same. I had no idea. I didn't have any expectations, to be honest.
I didn't know how far I was gonna watch it if it was bad, but it was just so good from the beginning, and the characters and what you named earlier with Vanessa Hudgens. This one actually has like a Filipino girl too, and
Yeah.
she's actually get to be Filipino in the movie.
Yep.
And I thought that was amazing. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I was watching that with, at first, my daughter was next to me. And my daughter, she's also part Filipino. So I thought that was powerful to see for her too. And the music in this is also great. Did you know any of these actors before the series? I've never heard of any of them.
No, I've never heard of one of these actors
They're
before
so
this
talented.
series. They're all amazing. Amazing.
I I think arguably they might be like better singers than the original cast.
I actually completely agree with you. I think they're better singers than the
Right.
original cast.
Right.
Yeah.
At first I thought that was gonna be a hot take, but I was like, I think that's gonna be more popular than not. Um what's the Olivia Rodrigo?
Olivia Rodrigo, I think, is the best, definitely the best singer in the entire High School Musical franchise as a whole.
I
She
agree.
is so talented.
I
She is a
agree.
gift. Yeah.
I can't believe how good she is. They nailed it with this. And we're talking about casting. I think this cast is perfect too.
I agree. It's so well cast. It's so well cast, man. Yeah.
And the stories that we were like pretty much butchering in the three movies about how not practical it is, this movie is actually pretty reasonably logical in terms of everything. Breakups seem normal. Nini breaks up with Ricky because she says I love you. He doesn't say it back. And then all the heavy, and which I didn't even know Disney would do this. The storylines are very heavy. Ricky's parents are going through a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Gina's mom is going to move all the time. And for a kid that's struggling, Carlos and Seb, you told me right before we started, and their
Yeah.
relationship, and Nini having two moms. I just think Disney just went for it with this one. So EJ, who is the guy that Nini starts dating after, as I was rewatching the series, I was realizing I think they had to sabotage what he does with her for it to make sense for him to break up with him again. Because like
Yeah.
he was so encouraging to her,
Yeah, I
he really
agree.
was. And then obviously he went through her phone and wrote that ridiculous song and all this
Hmm.
other stuff. But and then also the writing on this when they came back with Ricky's telling Nini he
His
loves her for the first time, and the chronological order of how he laid it, I thought was tremendously well written. And that little tidbit too of Vanessa Hudgens' line from the first one is like, you know, when you meet in kindergarten, you instantly become best friends. And they
right.
actually met that way. Just the attention to detail to relay each other is incredible. And her name is Nini because he couldn't pronounce his vowels in kindergarten. I thought that was her name's Nina. Yeah. I thought that was, I didn't actually look at all the writers, but they did an excellent job with
It's
writing all.
great. It's so good. It's so good.
So, do you have a favorite part or moment from the series?
Man, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but just that whole 10th episode is such a perfect way. It's almost too good, that 10th episode, honestly. Like
Yeah.
the way that they end it is like so, so perfect. That last conversation between Ricky and Nini,
Yeah.
with the spoiler alert kiss, like, oh, just so good. So, so
Yeah.
good. Yeah. That, I mean, all of the episodes, I remember watching them like every Friday when they came out,
Yeah.
like truly staying up till midnight to watch it. I was like that much of a fan. I was like, oh, I just love this so much. So like staying up till midnight to watch them, like I just love every song, like every character is just so well done. So yeah, but if I had to pick a favorite moment, I would say definitely that last conversation between Ricky and Nini is so good and
That
so
was
well written.
that was I mean, it still might be, but rewatching it, I got more feelings from and I don't know if this is the age thing kicking in. The Ricky and Nene scene was my favorite scene. And then I rewatched it. And when at the end of the musical, Gina and Nene get Miss Jen and they bring out the apple on the tray and they get her to say the line, "Is this the last apple?" I just thought that was unbelievably well crafted into that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think her character probably is underrated in that a lot of people who try, you know, any form of entertainment end up not doing as successful. And I think the way they made her so important to the students, I thought was well, you know, well done so much. You know, they did an incredible job with that. What I love about this franchise and High School Musical 3 and the series, they both stage a musical in the, you know, episode or the movie, right? So they do High School Musical, the musical in the series, and then they do the spring musical and High School Musical 3. And what I loved about both is they mess up while performing. And I always tell kids, because they
Right.
want to be perfect, like, listen, you try your best, and if something goes wrong, you keep going. What the theater term I believe is the show must go on, right? And
Yeah.
I love that as good as they are, they add a lot of mess ups and keep going. And I think that's an underrated thing for young people, especially to learn to keep going and keep pushing and not quit, you know? Because I mean, and then the Ricky scene when he quits and she brings him back, I think was a powerful scene too. And it's probably how it crafted into him talking to her in back in the green room.
Mm-hmm.
And then his character, all the characters are so good in the series.
So incredibly good, and I just
Yeah.
kept thinking that during this rewatch. I was like, every character, like they don't leave anyone out, really.
No, no. Let's actually go through them. So let's go with Carlos and Seb first, and they're obviously developing a relationship throughout the first
Right.
season. And
Yes.
and I was actually worried that Seb was not going to show up to the dance. I don't remember what
Right. They had me for a second. I was scared. I was like,
me
are they
too.
really going to do that? They're going to do that to him?
Right. I think that's incredible what they're doing with that. And Carlos, I don't know his real name. He actually did a collaboration with the Philharmonic. Did you get to watch that video? He did a song
Oh,
with
I
them.
did not.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I watched that and I was like, oh my God. Because if you watch the series, you know exactly who that is. And he's so talented too. I don't know
It's
in this if
amazing.
in the second season if he's gonna be able to be in the show too, but in terms of like the musical, not the show. Like, because I think what
Oh,
they were
like
implying,
in Beauty and the Beast. Right,
yes,
right, right.
yes. I don't know if they're implying when he played Chad when EJ got bumped up to Troy that he has some form of either stage anxiety or something. But other than that, there's no excuse for him not to be in it. He's
Right,
just
I agree.
incredible. And Seb is too. And the way they made him into Sharpay, I thought was phenomenal.
So good.
Yes, it was
And
unbelievable.
that guy who plays Seb, Giovanni, he goes to University of Michigan. He graduated there as a BFA in musical theater. And University of Michigan is like known for being one of the top, if not the top, musical theater schools in the country. Like that is known for being the musical theater school. He is a phenomenal musical theater performer. Like he is so, so insane. So and he just got bumped up to a series regular. So like so excited
Good.
for that
Yeah.
relationship for Carlos and Seb, like so excited for that relationship to bloom and to have just, like a gay relationship at the
Yeah.
forefront. I'm hoping for that to
Yeah.
like really be pushed,
Yeah.
like really, really be pushed.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no
Mhm.
way they could take out any of the characters because they're all so great. And everyone that made it to the Thanksgiving episode party, like they have to be regulars for
Mhm.
sure.
For sure.
Ashlyn and Big Red, right? I love that relationship too.
Adorable. I love
Yes.
that they gave them that little thing at the end
Yes.
of episode
Yes.
10.
Yes.
So good. I thought that was perfect for them.
Yes. And then I don't know her actual name. The girl who plays Ashlyn, her voice is incredible.
Julia Lester, yes. She and I actually have some mutual friends because she's a SoCal theater person as well. She knows one of my friends. I think she knows my friend Maya because they like went to theater camp together or something. But yeah, she is insane.
When she sang, I was like, oh my god, because every time you discover what they actually sound like, I'm like, oh my, they did not miss with this one at all.
They did not miss. The casting is crazy, like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I also love that not one of them has like, I mean, not that this is like a derogatory comment in any way, but I love that none of them have like conventional theater voices. I love that they are very much like contemporary, like modern voices of like this new generation. I just love that,
Terrific.
Yeah.
We got Courtney, who also has an incredible voice.
So good, so
Yeah.
good. And she's so funny and just so bright, so
Yeah.
good.
She's a powerful female character, and I love
So
that.
good.
Yeah, I'm glad she's entered into there. And EJ, um, how do you feel about him?
I I liked him more in this last rewatch than I did in my first rewatch. I think I appreciate Mark more when I was watching it this second time round. I think I appreciated his development when I was watching it again and like was feeling his remorse for what he did more in that second time round. Him trying to be more truthful. I saw more like how he was trying to take that lesson and integrate it more into the rest of like his behavior for the rest of his life, essentially. I think he wasn't just trying to be like slapping a band-aid on the situation and then going about. I think he truly was trying to like take that situation and integrate it into the rest of his behavior. So appreciate his character development and like the whole thing with like buying Gina like the plane ticket. I thought that was really, really sweet. So I appreciate EJ. I think he's great.
That gesture has to play into season 2. It seems
I so agree. I think that's so significant, that
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. And then obviously Gina, who's I think probably maybe arguably the most talented. She's incredible. Like
She's insane.
I think I think I sent you the video of her showing Nene the dance, and Nene's like, I've seen Vanessa Hudgens play. She stands there.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, she's so good. Oh, I did.
She's
I
so
did.
good.
I forgot to mention this. I remember you tweeted out, and I couldn't find the tweet because it's so far back. I remember you flipping out when it did look like Ricky and Gina were gonna have something. Yeah,
Yes, dude. I was gonna put it in my notes. I couldn't remember what I said because I honestly like sort of changed my mind about it when I was doing this rewatch.
Okay, what did you originally feel that made you so furious? Because I do remember it was like a series of angry tweets. And then what did you feel?
I remember. Okay, so I also want to hear your thoughts about this as well. So I think I have briefly said something about it in my notes. I was saying that I didn't think Gina had enough, in my opinion, I didn't think that Gina had enough character development for her to justify having a love triangle with the leading man. Like, it didn't make sense. It wasn't enough for me for her to have such a good love plot, because like things, I just thought that she was evil. I was like, this doesn't, like, everything that she did was
Yeah.
so sabotaging to me. It doesn't make sense that that Ricky is literally okay with it. Like, he is just so sweet to her. It's just not enough for me
Hmm.
for her to be just so okay in the end. But as I was watching it, I don't know, my opinion just like changed. I just saw like how lost she was, and like how badly she was trying to fit in, and how her problems just manifested them in an ugly way, unfortunately. And it changed a little bit, you know what I mean? And I
Which,
saw how Ricky saw that, you know.
which, to be fair, we didn't know what Gina's situation was at all when it first came out.
So true, so
Yeah.
true.
So you are watching it now in hindsight of knowing what happens to her towards the end of the season, and with her and her mom and moving again. So yeah, because at first when I watched it, I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, the first scene of them in the car when she kisses his cheek, I was like,
Yeah.
"You're kidding! This is not gonna be a part of. This is not gonna be a love triangle right now." I was like, "You're actually kidding me! She's evil. She literally sabotages them. There's no way this is gonna be part of." I was livid. I was like, "She is literally evil, and they are not gonna make this part of the story."
And yeah.
But I mean, Ricky is just so sweet. Of course, he's gonna see that this girl is nice. Like, it's just very well written, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how do you feel about Gina?
I thought what she is doing is way worse than Sharpay, because Sharpay built the drama club at East High, and Gina just showed up. Now, and granted, Gina is into musicals and whatnot, all that, but like still, and she's also younger than all of them. So that to me was a little bit more villain-esque than Sharpay.
I agree.
And I really didn't know where they're going with it. And then Ricky at that point still seemed like this young guy who is, I don't want to say the word clueless, maybe more innocent
Yeah,
with
like a little bit of an
girls.
airhead. Yeah, he
Yeah.
just doesn't really know.
Yeah.
Like, it's
And Gina seemed like she knew exactly what she was doing every
exactly.
time she
And
was
she just
plotting
like
everything.
took advantage of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then that scene was she just took Nini's ex to the dance, and then she was with Nini's other ex in the car, so it just looked really bad. Right, that's a lot in right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but towards the end of the series and when it ended, I was like, oh wow, like I don't know who is going to play the antagonist in season 2, or if there is going to be one, because even
Right.
I forget his name, the robotics club teacher ended up being
Right.
somewhat, now with Miss Jen and on her side. Gina is completely friends with everyone now, unless we get a new
Yeah,
character.
she's relieved of, she's like
Yes.
relieved of any antagonist
Yeah.
responsibility at this point.
So I
Like,
mean, there
she's
might
not
be a new
even in that.
character. Maybe it's a new character that we don't know yet that they'll introduce,
Perhaps.
right?
Yeah, they did a
So
really good job of like making me feel bad for Gina. At the end, I was like, okay, fine. I'm don't hate you anymore. You're like not even on thin ice anymore. You're fine. So
it's, what's funny is I always say the best scripts or stories are where you can't tell who's actually the protagonist or the antagonist. Like it could really be flipped anyway. I really feel that way. And then we can move on to Ricky from there. Obviously, that another levels to his character too, and how much he's developed over the actual season. It starts with him not being able to say "I love you" back,
hmm
which actually, the first time I watched it, I was so sad, and the
yeah,
second time I watched it, I was more sad. And I think also is I was just like, oh my God, like, and then now I'm always looking through the lens as the dad of a daughter. And I'm like,
right,
oh God, if she said I love you and he doesn't say it back, how crushing is that? You know?
right,
And but obviously then we find out like his mom hasn't been there, and then they're getting a divorce and all these things are happening, and his character goes through a lot. I was a little bit confused at how someone who can play the guitar so well and loves music just doesn't want to perform. Like some of that,
Right.
yeah,
So true. I didn't even think about
like
that. He's so
Zach,
musically gifted.
right, and he's not into anything else. Like Zach was actually still an athlete. Or
Yeah.
sorry, Troy was an athlete,
Right.
but Ricky technically, I don't know what he did before the series. There, like we don't know anything, like
Right. We don't
at
know
all.
anything about
We don't
him.
know
That's
anything.
true.
Yeah, like we know that Nini loves being in the theater. She just she's has stage fright. EJ, I think, plays water polo and loves theater.
Hmm.
Gina, like they all do something, but like
We
Ricky,
don't know we know that
yeah,
he like skates. Like that's it.
yeah, apparently, yeah, like
Yeah.
so,
That's true.
but he's so good that it's just like kind of odd that someone out of no on junior year would just break out like that. But he's, I mean, because he's so good, I give him a pass.
Yeah.
The guy, I don't remember his real name, who plays Ricky, but
Joshua Bassett.
oh, he's so good.
Oh,
He's so
he's
good.
arguably, I think the girl that plays Nini Rodrigo, I think she's the best singer, but I think Joshua Bassett, who plays Ricky, I think he's the best actor. I
Oh,
think I
yeah,
think he's the best actor. I think he is so good at being Ricky.
yeah,
Like, he is just so good.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Ricky moment of the series so far?
Oh yes, there's the episode where he has to the episode where he first has to sleep at Big Red's
With a sleep
and with
apnea?
the sleep apnea, but then he goes to Nini's house and then he
Yes.
ends up going home. His performance in that episode to me is just so he's just so good in that episode. Like his whole performance is so the conversation between Nini and Ricky in that episode is really, really well done as well. Their chemistry
Yeah.
is just insane. Anything they
Yeah.
do together is so good.
Yeah, and his character goes through so much that they needed an actor who can carry all of it. They really
Hmm.
did. And I
Yeah.
do love also like Ricky and Big Red's relationship. Like I think
Oh,
that
so much.
friendship is
Yeah.
amazing. I hope we find out more about it. I'm sure it gotta be childhood from the beginning, day one friends. But
Yeah.
I love their relationship. And then
Yeah, me too.
finally, obviously Nini, she, I mean, there's a lot to unpack with her. Obviously she is, I don't know how many characters are actually allowed to play an Asian character on the Disney circuit. Obviously, London Tipton and Sweet
Hmm.
Life. I can't name very many. I'm talking about
Right.
like leads, right? She is like the official lead of this actual series.
Right.
And I think this is I I really do think it's a real checkpoint too for and Disney especially. And she's so incredibly, I think she's going to be a huge star. I really do. I think she's going to make more music. And I couldn't believe how young they were. Her and the girl who
I
plays
can't.
Gina.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Gina being the youngest. That's like a trip to me. How young they are, and to see them doing something as crazy as this,
Yeah.
so inspiring. So inspiring.
Do you have a favorite Nini moment?
And all I want that song when she's I think that's the fourth episode. That song to me is just like quintessential Nini. And the fact that Olivia Rodrigo, like wrote that song for the series is so like that's just a beautiful moment. Like I love that. That's probably one of my favorite Nini moments is when
Yeah,
she sings that
yeah.
song.
I think it's also when I was going through the credits, her and Joshua Bassett have credits in writing on some of these songs, and
Yes,
that
they
that
do.
is new for the franchise. Yeah, and that
Yeah.
shows how talented they are, and that
Hmm.
Disney's actually willing to also. I mean, there must have been a time where Disney's like, "Oh, that's nice, but we're not going to." But now,
Right.
and they're and being so young that they take it too shows a lot because they're actually young. Like the original cast wasn't high school age when they were playing high
Right.
school, and some of these characters are actually high school age or even their characters age, which is
Literally. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Miss Jen, I forgot about her.
Ugh.
She, that's what I thought. But the
Yeah.
actress who plays it, she's been in a ton of musicals.
Has she?
Yeah, I think I looked it up. Yeah, she's great too.
She's so good. She's phenomenal. She's really, really great. And
Yeah.
she's underrated as well. Yeah.
Do you have any season 2 predictions?
Dude, I have an entire list of season
Okay.
2 predictions. I went off with these predictions.
All right.
So
Go for it.
the okay, so can we talk about who you think they're gonna cast in Beauty and the Beast?
Yes. Actually, I was gonna ask that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go for
Okay,
it.
great. So I think, or do you want to talk about like the story, or should we talk about storyline predictions first and then do Beauty and the Beast
No,
casting?
no, no. We can do Beauty and the Beast first. Let's do it. So,
Okay,
yeah. So, on the last episode, Miss Jen says, "Wait till you see what I picked for the spring musical,"
right.
and then they released a trailer of the casting in Beauty and the Beast, which is obviously the entire saying of they're gonna do Beauty and the Beast as a musical. My first question was actually gonna be: is there any chance that Nene doesn't play Belle?
You know what? Here's where storyline predictions come in is because do you think Nini is gonna go to the Youth Arts Conservatory? She has to, right?
This is basically the Gabriella Stanford Honors Program equivalent of the series.
I agree. I
Um,
completely agree.
unless her parents block it, which I think up to now her parents are not aware. Her moms are not aware that she even, because I don't remember her ever saying it in front of her, unless it's implied that she asked. Other than that, it does seem like she has to go. Now, I don't know how she ends back with the high school if she goes. Like,
Right.
what could happen?
Right.
Like, I don't want to show her quitting.
Right. Exactly. They wouldn't bring it in if she wasn't gonna go. I think she's obviously gonna go for her. Well, she said that they wanted her to start in a month.
Yes.
So
Yes.
she would be going to finish off her junior year and for the rest of her senior year.
Right.
So I think she's definitely going to go. They wouldn't bring it in if she wasn't going to go, right? I think she's definitely not going to spend the rest of the show there, though. I think maybe she's going to go and then something is going to happen and then she's going to come back. That's my personal prediction. I think maybe she'll realize that she like doesn't fit in there or something, or like she realizes it's like a bunch of people or
Sure.
something and something
Sure.
happens and she comes back. But I think she's going to go and something happens and she comes back. But
So
that's what I think.
in this arc of what you're saying of the storyline, someone else has to get casted for Belle then.
That's what I think. And I think it's going to be Gina. I think Gina is going to move in with Ashlyn. And I think
Right.
Gina is going to play Belle. That's what
Right.
I think. Yeah.
And then if Nene comes back, does she have a part in this musical?
I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't know.
Because then now we're saying the reverse of what's happening. Like, dang, they're doing Gina dirty if they do that.
Dang, man. I don't know, cause now timeline things are in the way, cause like
Yeah.
it's like now, well, when does Nini come back? Here's the thing though, is I don't think they can make Nini the lead again. Like I don't think Nini is gonna be Belle either way, even if she does come back. I think Gina is gonna be the lead regardless. I think they're gonna give that to Gina either way. Like I don't think anyway that Nini will be the lead of Beauty and the Beast.
In a high school drama club for musicals, how frequent is it that the same people get the leads, or do they switch off? How does that work?
Um, that actually does happen pretty often that the same people get leads, but they do try to do the seniority thing that if it's someone's last year, they'll try
Oh,
to give it to a lead.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then EJ's a senior. So does he get casted as Beast? This is his last before he graduates. 'Cause this
Right.
was the winter musical, what they just did.
Correct.
Right.
You're right. You're
Okay.
right.
So does EJ get casted as Beast?
I think a lot of people have been saying that they see EJ as Gaston.
Well, I mean, yeah,
See
he's
EJ as a
perfect for
Gaston.
that.
Yeah.
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 So then, okay, so then I see a storyline here. EJ and Gina develop a relationship. Gina plays Belle. Ricky plays the Beast.
Yeah.
EJ gets jealous. And I see something happening there.
Yeah, me too. I think that's a perfect love triangle, and I think that gives room for like different issues to develop between Ricky and Nini. I think like no more love triangles between Ricky and Nini. Like I'm out of love triangle exhaustion between them. I think if they're bringing problems between the two of now, it's like long distance more mature problems for them.
You
Like, I
you
don't
don't
think we need to explore love triangles
you
anymore
don't think
between
they're gonna
Ricky and Nini.
introduce a guy character at her new school and Ricky gets jealous? You don't think that's gonna happen?
Oh God, you're so right, actually. Oh no, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Why? Oh, that makes me so sad. Oh, I don't want another person to get in the way of this relationship. That's gonna exhaust me. That's gonna exhaust me.
Oh man.
Oh
Um.
man. Dude, you're so right. I didn't even think about that new school. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh, do you think Nene ends up finding out that Gina kissed Ricky? So far, they don't. No one knows except Big Red. No one else knows. Do you think Nene finds out?
Um, no, I don't think so. I think they left the Jean and Nini friendship in a really good place, actually. I think they like mended, I think they left Gina's character relieved of any anti-hero or like antagonist responsibilities. So I really do think Gina is like out of the negative spotlight. In my opinion though, what do you think?
You know, I don't know how much drama they want in one season.
Right.
If if it does happen, I don't see it going past an episode. Like I
Right.
think it gets resolved within that episode
I agree. Yeah.
because it was on the cheek, and I think they did that on purpose to, make it not as, I guess, intense. Um, because they didn't need to add the kiss. They could
I
have just
agree.
added a stare or something or whatever, some moment, but they added a kiss probably to throw us off. But it depends on what their relationship is like going forward, I guess,
Yeah,
between Gina and
and
Ricky.
I feel like with Gina in those first however many episodes, you never know if she's doing something out of the good of her heart, like out of her real emotions, or it's out of spite. Like you don't know her intentions in those first, honestly, like 4 or 5 episodes. So you don't
Right.
know if she's doing that to throw Ricky off or if she's doing it because she like genuinely feels like she's having a moment with him. So you really don't know with her. So
Is
yeah.
there a cameo from the original cast you want to see in season 2? I mean, we got Ryan and Martha in season 1. Is there a cast member you want to see in season 2 come back?
That's a great question. I'd like to, the girl who plays Kelsey, Alicia Rulin. I think I'd like to see one from her. Really, I think that'd be a really good one for them to have. I loved her. I think she's a really underrated character from the movies. So I'd like to see some Kelsey action in that second one.
I'm going to throw a curveball out there and swing for the fences. I think Zac Efron has done whatever he can to distance himself from the franchise.
I agree.
He never shows up. I don't know if it's because of just simply being Vanessa Hudgens' ex, or if he just truly doesn't want to, be a part and just wants to separate himself. I don't know, Zach, so I don't have any ideas of that. But what I would like to see is because I think, disappointed people when all he did was introduce for the I don't
The
remember what it was.
reunion.
Yeah, for the when
Mm-hmm.
they did the original cast and the new cast when they sang "We're all in this together." Zach could have sent in a clip. He
Yeah.
clearly could have, but he chose not to. But I think he knew better than to not be a part of it completely. But what would be, and I thought about how you could actually bring him in is something happens and they need money because they don't have money in the budget. And it would be nice to see Zac Efron donate to save whatever is going on. And I think that would be kind of cool to see Zach give notice. Because, I think Zach is very talented,
Mm-hmm.
but High School Musical is really what just launched his career. And
I
I,
agree.
I, I mean, it doesn't do anything to me personally, but I would like to see him acknowledge it somehow in it. And that would be cool to kind of see.
You know what? Honestly, I freaking agree with you. I think a cameo from literally Zach himself or Vanessa, like one of those two major characters, would be so meaningful.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, Vanessa is probably a little bit more doable. She seems to really love being a part of High School Musical.
I
Like
agree.
Ash
Yeah.
said.
Definitely like Vanessa and Ashley like are really on board with like
Oh, yeah.
doing things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which also, I love that they're like BFFs.
Yeah, love that. Love that.
Like it's, and then to show like how good they are at acting is like they play characters that don't like each other and then like they love each other off
Yeah,
screen.
seriously, a
So,
testament to them. Love
yeah.
that.
Okay. Any other predictions you want to go through before we play a few games?
Um,
Actually, speaking of games, Disney needs to make that game that Carlos made in the series, High School Musical. Choose it. Oh my God.
I would spend a stupid amount of money for that.
Me too. I thought when I saw that, that was so clever. I don't know who created that in the room, but oh man,
That's so good. They
I
need to
actually, yeah,
make that a real game. You're
yeah.
right.
That
Wow.
that scene where EJ and Ricky are doing the Sharpay and Ryan warm up.
So good. So good. What a fun
Yeah,
episode too, the
yeah,
Thanksgiving episode.
yeah.
Good.
Incredible.
So well done.
Yeah.
So
But
good.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
want that game made. I want that game made, Disney.
Oh, me too. I want it for game night.
So good.
So good.